So it's no secret that Nintendo is they've been bringing some of their big IPs to smartphone games. We had Pokemon Go, although you could make the argument that wasn't really Nintendo, but everyone still thinks of it as Nintendo, so they get credit or blame for it anyway. You have Miitomo, which is a Me social network kind of game. You had Super Mario Run, which is the Mario game you can play with one hand. Right.
Was that super successful? I don't remember.
It didn't perform as well as I thought it would. And I honestly thought it would perform well, but people are kind of done paying $10 for a smartphone game.
Yeah.
So, and now there is talk about the Legend of Zelda series coming to smartphones. It is a rumor at this point. And this is according to an unconfirmed report in the Wall Street Journal. And they're not sure if it's going to be a port of an existing game or if it's going to be something completely new. So we're not sure of that, but it does appear that we're going to have Animal Crossing. We know that the next game that Nintendo's working on for smartphones is going to be an Animal Crossing game.
Yay.
If you like Animal Crossing.
If you're into that.
Biggest waste. Just call it Time Waster Simulator 5000. That's a better name.
Kind of like Tomodachi Life.
There's no point. There's like no overall point, but that's something else. But after Animal Crossing, which comes out second half of this year, 2017, we're probably going to get the Zelda game that may be being worked on, and of course, the Wall Street Journal, Kotaku, which reported this from the Wall Street Journal report, has reached out to Nintendo, but neither DNA, which is the mobile company that's been making these apps for Nintendo, with the exception of Pokemon Go, neither DNA or Nintendo have commented on the rumor, which is normal. Nintendo never comments about any rumors. So what do you think about this? Do you think this is probably going to happen, or?
I think it will. I think what's the next logical title other than after Mario?
After Mario, right.
But let's have some fun with it, Stephen. What if you were to be in charge of a Legend of Zelda mobile game, what do you think it would play as?
I wouldn't. Well, first of all, it being a mobile game, you can't make it too big and too engrossing.
Exactly. So, like, what kind of style would it be?
For Zelda, there's not a whole lot of gameplay styles you can choose. Honestly, no. Actually, I think what would probably do well on a smartphone would be something along the lines of Four Swords or Triforce Heroes, where it's an online multiplayer game and you could play with other people and move around. So and the way that Four Swords worked out, and that's what I have more experience with. I haven't played Triforce Heroes at all, but I think they're similar. With Four Swords, you kind of just did like 4 different levels before doing like the last level together. So you couldn't really, when the game was first released for Game Boy Advance, it was strictly multiplayer. You could not play the game alone, but it was just kind of like part of a bigger game. Then they released it later for the DS as like a free download for like the 25th anniversary, and they actually added a mode where it allowed you to play by yourself if that was all you could do. So that's how I actually played it. I played it by myself. And I can see it working out for a smartphone game. I mean, I could see, they could even do the dreaded microtransactions and have you pay money to like unlock items sooner than you're supposed to.
Not the microtransactions.
The microtransactions are coming.
They should make the initial purchase, the initial download free though.
Yes, I think definitely they should do that. Like Fire Emblem Heroes is seemingly doing well, and you can buy characters and packs, but that's a free to play game. I think they should do something like that.
Yeah.
Do I think this is in general a good idea? I don't really know.
Why not?
I kind of have mixed feelings just because, the more Zelda that is out there, the better. I know that there's a lot of Zelda games out there, but historically it has kind of been, I don't know, not been given as much attention as it could by Nintendo. Like, I want to see more Zelda games out than Mario, but I know that's just me. Right.
Foolish boy. Naive fool.
So there is that aspect to it, but at the same time, I don't want to see the quality of Zelda kind of slip, because let's face it, anything that goes on a smartphone that's a Zelda game, it's not going to be something that IG Aonuma makes or really has anything to do with. It's going to be made by, DNA, and they're going to put their own spin on it, kind of like Super Mario Run. And you can't really I don't think you can take the same concept of Super Mario Run, which is just like an oversimplified version of a Mario game.
Yeah, I don't know. And
apply that to Zelda. I don't think it would work.
I mean, Zelda's not a 2D platformer.
No, it's open. It's always been open world. It's always been, you explore a lot. Unless they make it like a collection of mini games, which I don't think anyone would be all that interested in. But yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Did you have anything else?
What if they took like a plot to some Zelda game that already exists, and they made it in like the art style of the first Zelda game, to where it's like you're like an over the top view, and you just have like a directional thing to move them around, and like 2 buttons in the corner of the screen.
Well, that kind of makes me think of, in Japan, they got a remake of the original Legend of Zelda on the Super Nintendo. And it played a lot like A Link to the Past did. I would be okay if they kind of did the Square Enix route with like Final Fantasy 1 and 2 and the older Final Fantasies, and put like a mobile optimized version of Zelda 1 on there. That would be cool. I don't think Zelda 2 would work, just because that's a little bit more action oriented, and touchscreen controls would not work that well. But I do think touchscreen controls may work on like a remake of the original Zelda. So they could go that route and make it a little bit easier for modern players. Or make it so, it'd be even cooler if they like made it episodic, and like each dungeon was like an episode.
Yeah, I don't know.
Doors open for it. But yeah, as long as they do it, as long as it's going to have Zelda's name on it, I do want quality.
Yeah.
Especially after Breath of the Wild, I think they see Zelda is
oh yeah,
definitely one of its strongest IPs out there.